Beautiful people, welcome to a series that I am calling Creating Powerful You. One of the most low, just worst feelings in the human experience is to feel like you have no power, to feel like you are just owned by your own behavioral patterns, your own thought loops, your own sabotage, your outer circumstances telling you the truth of life and who you are, right? When you feel depleted, when you feel like your energy is just super low, this is like the worst feeling in the world, and yet so many humans are in that place right now. So this video is going to show you, it really just help you remember how to get that power back, how to use it properly, because we've been conditioned in the complete opposite way of being powerful, and that's done by design. But we're in the Aquarian age, as I always talk about. So we're waking up to these things. So stick around if you want to truly know what it feels like again to be in your power, in your truth, and in alignment. And notice how I put the word creating here, okay? You are a creator. If you're just consuming things all day on the internet, videos, podcasts, now that's cool. There's lots of good stuff out there. But if you're just consuming and you're not actively creating something in your life, expressing who you are going to feel an energetic deficit because you're cut off from the creative energy that starts to flow through you when you start to direct it towards something. But if you're in just that same familiar feedback loop of reality, you don't realize it, but you're squandering all of your life force into a creation that you don't desire. And it's feeding into a distortion, which is not true reality, okay? So we're going to break all of this down. By the end of this, I want you to feel like the real powerful you, just like this guy right here, because to me, when you're in your power, your biceps get freaking yoked, right? That's my powerful me when my arms are looking like that, okay? And remember, I got the Goofy Gang sweatshirt on right now. Shout out Morgan J and the Goofy Gang, because if you're being serious about life, that immediately tells you, guess what? You are not in your power. You are in the small self. You're squandering your power to worry, stress, anxiety, and fear, and you're gripped in the shadow of seriousness. And that is the illusion that we get to come out of right now. So let's dive into this. All right, so first off, here we go. Thoughts are electric. Emotions are magnetic. I want you to remember this because it plays an intricate part of your experience of being in your power. Now, we are immersed in a field of intelligence, right? We are the life force that animates everything on this planet, the energy that animates everything is flowing through us right now. It's what regulates our heartbeat, our digestion, all these things that happen in our body that we don't have to put any conscious thought towards. That is the creative universal energy operating within us, okay? And so we can't see it because our eyes can only see like 0.001 of the light spectrum, but we are literally swimming in a sea of this universal substance, right? There's no empty space here. It's all waves of information. And in a lot of ways, it's like a video game, right? And I know you've heard that before, but then you'll just go back to your linear way of operating within that endless sea of potential and nothing changes. So let's put a pause on that right now. Oh, I've heard that before. And let's just let this land a little bit deeper, okay? So this is your electromagnetic field as you're wandering through this endless sea of potential and substance all around you. And your thought and your feeling, your emotion is creating this electromagnetic field, okay? Now, for most of us, we're not really aware of this stuff. So we have a magnetic field that is a product of what's coming from our unconscious mind, meaning these are our learned and conditioned behaviors and neural pathways that we continue to think every day and give electricity towards, right? And then the emotions that are tied to those thoughts and those beliefs are creating the magnetism. So you're drawing relationships and life experience and all the things of reality based on that. So a requisite of taking your power back, starting to create the powerful you, is taking responsibility for this wisdom and being like, wow, okay, I have a electromagnetic field that is all around me at every second of every day, and I'm walking through reality, and that field is interacting with the endless sea of substance, of potential, that is reading our electromagnetic field and then bringing forth the experiences and the things that are in resonance with that. So this is why it's so important to become self-aware, become the observer of your experience so that you can see the things that were once unconscious that you've been programmed by, and you can start to create something new, right? Because look, your electromagnetic field is stories. It's an identity that you created, that the culture created, that you weren't aware of, right? So this time that we're living in, to me, is so special because we actually are learning this, right? And this is something that Yeshua taught when he got here and was trying to let people know, you have the Father within you. Seek ye first the kingdom within you, which means that you have to go in and pay attention to the way that you feel and the story that you're telling yourself and the thoughts that you're broadcasting, and come into alignment. Use your conscious will to bring your awareness, your attention to the divine power within you, which is neutral, which is like electricity, and it's waiting for your direction of it. But most of us are so unconscious with this, and it's just being directed from reactions every day, right? Where the stimulus is happening out here, the familiar environment, and we just get emotionally pulled, right? And so we have the same field, and it's attracting the same experiences again and again until we realize what's happening. That energy, that substance, right? We're always judging that substance through our five senses. Oh, this is what reality is. This is the story of reality that I relate to. This is how I've experienced it, right? But that is just conditioning and programming that's saying those words that you think is you, right? Because again, we're creators, people. So if your conditioning is the thing that's qualifying the endless sea of potential all around you, you get the same things. To take your power back, you have to say nay to the outside world, and you have to go in, enter the kingdom of heaven within, align with that divine power of, wow, inside of me right now is the universal life force that creates everything in this world. That's in me right now. And if I can have the discipline to direct my energy, which is my attention, which is my emotion, towards that which I am creating, which is the powerful you with the big arms. If you're not willing to do that, and you're staying in the addiction, and you're staying in the familiar environment, and you're letting the biology of your body, your lower animal nature, carnal mind dictate your experience, then you never get to see what powerful you is like. Okay, because powerful you is beyond all memory that you've ever had. Like maybe you've had experiences in your journey where you've like felt unstoppable. You felt like, oh yeah, this is me in full power, baby. I've had those, and they're amazing. What we're training ourselves to do is to like have that become the new baseline, right? To change the information of this field, which is the stories that you're telling yourself, which is the identity that you're assuming, okay? So the first step is we have to re-qualify that substance, that potential all around us, and start to send the thoughts and the feelings of the reality and the us that we're choosing to experience by becoming it right now. Okay? So that's where the creative forces come in. Now, you're the director. You're intentionally sending your mind to places, towards your creations, towards the things that you want to see in your reality. And now you're starting to withdraw, right? Because the not powerful you would have their energy sucked outwards by the external, right? It would deplete your energy because it would suck your attention out there instead of you keeping it in here, right? So that's step one. Enter the kingdom of heaven within you. Enter first within yourself and connect to the truth, the principle of as within, so without. That energy inside of you, if you think of the most powerful person that you can imagine in the world, according to you, you're not any different from them. They just use that energy in a different way. They've created a field based on taking their power back and using their energy in this way intentionally. And as I've said on this channel before, this is a game of mastering your attention, taking back control of your attention. Now look at the world, look at the design of it. Are there not billions of dollars and all of the resources and all of the psychology and the most brilliant minds have been used against us in humanity to siphon our attention farming and harvesting, right? It's because they know that that is the most important thing. Where our attention goes, energy flows. All right. So you've got to take your power back. You've got to stop giving your conscious attention to your problems, to the limitations from your past, how you've done things in your past, right? Because for so many of us, the past is informing our now, right? The past is informing our energy field instead of our creative energy here in this present moment saying, here's what I'd like to create. Oh, here's what I'd like to see in my reality. Here's the person that I want to be, right? And then having the discipline and the mental strength to keep the attention in that place, away from all of the distractions, right? Now, here's the other thing. Technology plays a big role in this because our focus is scattered and our attention is weakened. It makes it a lot more challenging to create your reality, right? Because the dopamine of your brain, like your brain has such a big piece of this, right? Your brain is this electrical machine that's sending messages to your body all the time. And if you're in survival or if you're in fight or flight and you're in that story of the old you based on your past and what's happened in your past, then you really don't have any power. It's the lowest level that you can operate in, right? So to really come into this, you've got to create space. You've got to make the claim for your attention. You've got to develop the superpower of focusing. I will tell you this, since I was a young kid, I had very severe ADHD symptoms, and I think a lot of folks on the spiritual path tend to have that, right? Where the mind is just moving so fast and it's jumping from thing to thing. And we have this idea that that's just who we are. And it's like, no. Meditation and being very intentional of training my focus to do one thing for a specified period of time enhances my ability to keep my attention where I want it to be, aka the story that I choose to be in instead of the old one. Okay? Now here's the next part of this. Consider this. Not powerful you is very afraid of truth. It's very afraid to confront the reality, the magnetic field that you've created that's going to require you to change pretty much everything, right? To look at those truths and to realize you've wasted years of your life, to realize that you've been operating as a shell of who you actually are, and that you've been squandering your God force energy that is available to all of us to create exactly what we would like to create on this earth plane. It's painful to look at these things, especially if you've been suffering for a long time, that you've been doing it to yourself, right? From a place of misusing this energy. But the powerful you gets excited about truth, because truth becomes like a feedback system. It's like, okay, this is what works, this is what doesn't work. Okay, great. Recalibrate, go back to the drawing board. Okay, today my attention got really squandered and scattered, and I was, kind of all over the place. That's okay. What did I do wrong? Okay, I looked at this thing, or I was on social media, my energy got depleted, right? So you're taking an audit, a very high level audit of your energy and your attention. And that's your truthful feedback system. And it's like, okay, I've been living in this story of lack, in this story of limitation, and maybe imposter syndrome if you're trying to bring your dreams to life and be of service and do your dharmic work. All of those shadows come up, and it's like, if you're willing to be in the truth of like, okay, these are all aspects of me that I get to confront through my awareness and realize I am not those things. I am creative energy, and my main job is to keep that attention in the places that I want it to be, right? When you're creating something, what happens? It's like all the reasons why you can't, all the excuses start to come out, right? We have this aversion to our creative power. And there's a lot of different schools of thought around why that is. But to me, it's just part of the human experience. You have that, as we've talked about in the channel, that opponent, Satan, the ego, the old you, that wants to be in that place of familiarity and not be fully accessing that creative power, because maybe you and your creative power that's starting to put stuff out in the world, it can be rejected. It could be judged. It could be scrutinized. You could have people leave your life. You could have people, not love you anymore. All of the things that open up to you being in your creative power, right? Because things happen when you were a kid, and you have a very strong alert system that's like, whoa, 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 when we start to do this and you're putting yourself out there, these are the things that can happen. And when they happen as a kid, I said I was never going to feel that again, right? So your energy field, your aura, your electromagnetic field is filled with those beliefs and those agreements. So taking your power back, a massive part of that is to start to make right? You're going to start to make new agreements. Example of that would be if you got hurt in a past relationship and your heart shut down, and maybe you felt rejected or not good enough, and you made the agreement of like, I'm not going to feel that anymore. I'm going to shut myself down. I'm not going to be open to relationships. I'm just going to do my own thing, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to not have to feel that again, right? That's an agreement. But the powerful you, the agreement turns from that into the new agreement is, I love myself so much and I feel so whole and complete as I am that I don't need necessarily anyone else to fulfill me. But my agreement is, I'm going to keep my heart open to life. I'm going to keep my heart open to love and to learning in relationships and to receive the beauty of relationships that can also come with heartache. But I love myself and I trust myself, and I know that I'm here for myself enough that I'm not going to get hurt the way that I did before, because now I'm showing up for me and I'm here for me in a way that I've never had. Right? So you're not, that takes away the codependent nature of relationships. And what a beautiful agreement with yourself. that you're going to show up for you, and that you're going to keep your heart open no matter what happens out here. We can't can ever control this, but what we can control is keeping the heart open, living your life. That agreement of like, I'm going to live, I'm going to love myself, I'm going to show up every day and use this power to create beauty in my life. I'm going to use the power within me to do wonderful things in my life, to be a creator. I'm going to create the unique frequency within me in a way that feels amazing. That's a new agreement, right? The old one's like, don't create, stay in the same shit, and don't get noticed, don't get hit, all avoidance stuff, right? So, all right, so let's just ground this in a little bit. The powerful you, right, is the master of their attention. Now, that can be a lovely concept to hear, and it's like, well, how do I actually become the master of my attention? Well, that has to do with your brain waves. This is why meditation is imperative. You've got to take, and it's not much, ladies and gentlemen. You got to get to the right side of your brain, open up your imagination. That's where the divine connection occurs. That's where you're on the radio station to receive the frequency and the information of the higher mind. You do it through meditation. You sit down for 10 to 20 minutes and you just receive. You just listen to silence and you slow your brain waves down, and it affects the rest of your day. That's how you put on, the Bible talks about you put on the armor of God. That's how you do it. You train your brain to be in that more meditative place by creating the space, by not being distracted and changing your tasks every 2 seconds, opening up new tabs, making your brainwaves crazy and into beta, which is what we're trained to do, right? That's not powerful you. That's very limited and very fractured you, right? You're working with a very small level of your brain ability when your focus is scattered like that, and you're allowing the ADHD to own you instead of you owning it, right? So that would be like you have a clear plan for your day. Powerful you has that. They know that their mind directed towards the correct thing is going to be what creates the world that you want. Okay. And creating, you got to create, whether it's things for your business, whether it's an artistic expression, something that is channeling that creative capacity. Because when you start to open that channel, the divine flow starts to pour in, and it starts to support that creative energy and what it's going towards. Most of us are depleting ourselves in using that creative life force on fueling our fears and the things that we don't want. And we're just depleting our most valuable resource, doing stuff we don't even care about. And our life force gets completely depleted, and we feel like we have no energy, and we feel like we're a slave to our circumstances, and we feel like we can't get out of it. And we gotta stop that hypnosis, okay? Become the powerful you. Master your attention. Change your electromagnetic field by changing where your thoughts are going and the way that you're feeling about yourself and life. Do a high-level audit of those two things and come from a place of, if I was to design my own reality and I was to actually write the script of my movie and I would actually get to see it realized, that's the responsibility you have to take on to become the powerful you, that you are writing the script through your thought, through your feeling and emotion, okay? Now you have to do a self-audit. You have to get very clear on where your life force is being squandered, where your energy is being depleted. Are there conversations with people in your life that this is happening? Is it material that you're consuming that you feel your energy drop? Is it the job that you're at that you feel the energy drop? Is it relationships around you that you feel like you're losing energy to instead of getting it, receiving it, right? And what happens is, and this goes back to truth, the powerful use relationship to truth, is when you do this audit, you're going to find there's a lot of things that deplete your energy, and there's a lot of things that they got to go. They can't stick around. And that's very scary to the old you, to the familiar you, to the ego, okay, to your brain. It's like, whoa, 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 whoa. We're about to change things up a lot. It doesn't like that. But are you the brain? No, You are the director of where your attention is going and your brain. You are above the impulses of the brain, right? You are ultimately the one who is qualifying that, again, universal substance, that potential all around you. So these are the beginning pillars of becoming the powerful you. And it just takes a little bit of consistency to create a little bit of momentum to start to reprogram the information that's in that electromagnetic field. Okay? This is part one. I'm going to do a series on this. And if this spoke to you, watch the masterclass that I just created. It's going to be linked down below. It's all about helping you to get out of that survival mindset where you are depleting your power and feeling powerless, and how to really get back in that and how to really start to implement these things in your journey. And if you want to take it the next step, I'm going to be doing a mastermind group starting in October. And this is going to be for souls who are just rocket shipping up to that next level of you, because it's time. And I know for a lot of you watching, there's that inner feeling of like, yeah, I can't wait anymore. I gotta go for this. Like, this is the time to break apart the chains that were the not powerful you, that was the false you, because you want to have the experience in this lifetime of being the free you, the powerful you, the creative you, the relaxed you that's dancing with life, that has what they need, and is now creating in a place where they're serving the whole because they've become the space to receive their dharma, to receive their unique way of expression. All right. Love you guys. I will see you on the next one.